Hello, random people of the internet. Today we are going to be ranking Encounters characters. If you've never seen a tier list like this before, basically S is the best of the characters and D is the worst. So basically, I'm going to be rating them on their powers mainly and how good they are to use. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so we're in the training arena mainly because I don't want to do this with real people since they're really unpredictable and none of my friends really play encounters. So yeah. Okay, so first we're starting out with Construct. So his left click does this. It increases the knockback by 18. His right click does this. It increases the knockback by 20, and it basically lunges you forward and whacks the person. And then this E does that. It just knocks the person into the air.
You're coming with me.
And then his ultimate basically adds 40 to the knockback and whacks them into oblivion like this. Okay, so the first up is Construct. Now he is one of my favorite characters. I do use him a lot. He is very useful. But he is a physical fighter and most people will usually just guard against his attacks. And it can be really annoying, but he does increase knockback by quite a lot and his ultimate also is pretty good. So I'm going to put him in A tier. Okay, so now we have Ryan. Oh god. So his left click is just a bunch. His left click is just him swinging his sword. His right click just summons a big thing that pushes the person back. E, if you hold it for long enough,
never out of my range.
It will push the person back. And then his ultimate, just he just spams his sword into the person. And yeah. Okay, so for Ryan, his attacks are amazing. I gotta say that it's pretty good. And it's really hard to lose with him. Mainly because his attacks are just really good. He can fight physically and from a range. So his sword, first of all, can really get you to a good ultimate, but you have to be really close to use it, but that's not really a problem. Because you could also use his right click, which, you know what it does. And it's pretty useful, and if you fling someone off, you could just use the right click to, keep them from coming back. So I'm gonna put him in S tier. He is amazing. Oh gosh, Rina. Yeah, I haven't really used Rina. I don't really like her in my opinion, but we're gonna see. Okay, so her left click just shoots an arrow. That's pretty much what it does. Her right click just basically spams an arrow. Her E is a grappling hook, which actually she uses pretty fast. And then her ultimate just spams a bunch of arrows, kind of like Aloysius' ultimate. Okay, next up, Rina. Oh god, Rina. So, here's the thing, she's a range fighter. She's an arrow person. And the thing with her is that it's really hard to defend yourself against Construct and Ryan here. Because if they get close to you, there's not much you can do. And her attacks can waste a lot of stamina. And it's just really easy to defeat her. But she's not completely bad, but I'm gonna have to put her in C tier. Okay, so Paktu. So basically his left click is just him kicking and punching. And then his right click basically summons whatever that is to punch whoever's there. His E basically traps whoever's in the circle. And then his ultimate summons his steed. And you can also put make those things. Yeah. So for Paktu, his attacks are pretty good and decent, except for his E, which is pretty easily avoided. You could just spam jump over it before he gets to you. It's not that hard to avoid. But for the most part, his attacks are really good. They can be easily guarded against, but still, it's pretty good. I'm gonna put him in E tier. Okay, now we have Poppy. Oh god. Okay, so her left click just basically summons toxic smoke, and if the person's in it, their knockback will increase by 2. Her right click just puts down a paint can, and then E just makes it pop, and if they're standing in it, their knockback will increase by 2. And then her ultimate, which is really her only form of attack, basically
don't make any rash
flings the person.
I guess that was a little toxic.
Oh god, Poppy. So, her attacks aren't really attacks, if you know what I mean. Like, she just sprays and makes paint cans, and like it's not like she doesn't really have a way to defend herself other than the goop, and like it's really easy for her to like camp in it if you're like one of those really annoying people. So I'm gonna have to put her in D tier for that. She just has too many negative things about her. Her only form of attack is her ultimate, so yeah. Okay, now we have Arash. Okay, so I haven't really used him a lot, just so you know. So his left click does this. It's basically a knife and it increases the knockback by 5. His right click basically is a grenade that explodes, and his E basically is Molotov, and you can yeet it into the person, and his ultimate basically makes you go invisible and place a bomb on the person's back, which explodes like that. Okay, next up we have Arash. Okay, now here's the thing with Arash, his attacks can also affect himself, like other than his knife. His bombs and his Molotov can also affect himself, which can be a bit of a downside. And most of the time, like, people will, using Arash, will, like, try to stay away and just run away. And he can be really annoying to fight against. So, but his attacks are really good. So I'm gonna put him in B tier for that. Okay, now we have Hamza. So basically, you hold left click for his attack, and then you just whack the person. And yeah, his right click is a slingshot that shoots a ball, and his E is a trampoline, which is pretty cool. And his ultimate basically just empowers his back, so. And yeah, oh god, Hamza. So I don't want to say he's terrible. He is not terrible. Like, his attacks are decent, but like his ultimate it's just like a regular attack. There's barely any difference, except that like I didn't see the difference when I was using him, and it's not very good. So mainly his only forms of attack are his regular attacks, and I'm gonna have to put him in C tier for that. Okay, now we have Zhao. So his left click is basically he swings his spear and increases the knockback by 15. His right click, basically he shoots lightning.
Here's a little zap for ya.
His E is basically a grappling hook, which is pretty cool, I guess. And then his ultimate, if you're in his ring, he will fling you up there and you will die.
You just got thunderclapped.
Zhao up here in front of Ryan. He is amazing. His spear moves fast. He has a good grappling hook with lightning. He can shoot from afar and attack physically too. And his ultimate, even though it can be easily avoided, it's still pretty powerful when used. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put him with S. Okay, so Seth. Oh gosh. So his right click just makes you go to your ultimate is pretty fast and increases knockback by 6. His right click is just him spinning, and if they're caught in the range, they will get flung. Like that.
Done already?
His E basically, I wouldn't use it if I were you, but it basically inflicts, doubles his knockback, but it also doubles the other person's knockback. And then and then his ultimate is basically him, but his attacks are empowered more. And yeah. Okay. So, Seth. Oh gosh, Seth. He is a complete maniac. And honestly, he's pretty good. It's really easy to, like, for him to get up to his ultimate, which is basically, like, empowering his attacks. And his ultimate is pretty good. But here's the thing, his E does, like, add knockback to himself. And plus, if someone, like, knocks him off the platform while he's, like, using one of his, like, left clicks or right clicks, he has, like, lowered stamina, and it's hard for him to get back, especially with construct and stuff. So I think he belongs in A tier. So yeah, I glitched Walter accidentally, but this is basically Walter. So his attack is just he stabs his umbrella for his left click. For his right click, he basically, yeah, he does that. His E summons his umbrella. Like, if he gets flung, he can just summon this. And then his ultimate just creates a storm. Okay, Walter. A lot of people would just put him in D tier, but I'm not going to do that to him. Because I've used him a lot. He's not that terrible, to be honest. He's not terrible. I'm telling you, he's not terrible. His umbrella can be pretty useful. Unless, like, you're using Ryan and you could just fling him off, but still. And his umbrella does kind of attack like a sword, and his right click is also kind of useful. I don't want to say he's bad, but, like, his ultimate, you need to have, like, a lot of knockback in order for it to actually work, but it's not as bad as Hamza. It's not as bad as Hamza, so I'm gonna put him in B tier. Okay, so I don't want this video to get too long, so I'm gonna make a part 2. So yeah, bye.